the falling media to slow down. Anyway, okay. So I found this item. I'm sure you have one or know someone who has one and you're not using it. Pretty cool, huh? Think about it. When was the last time you played tennis? But we played a lot growing up, so so most people ought to have one of these collecting dust. If it really was recently that you played tennis, you probably have more than one of these. And either way, if you have one that you think is too good for this, these things are painted with really tough paint, or they're not even ferrous material anyway. So I think you could actually use even a good one and it wouldn't even affect this thing. You know, it wouldn't even affect the tennis racket. And on top of that, it's not like you're going to be digging this through the litter and, you know, causing the wear that that accumulates on a regular scoop. It's not like you'll ruin this by doing what I'm going to show you. So, I guess I've framed up this shot so that this will work. You put the, I'm going to pour the litter over the tennis racket. And you could do this, you know, into another open vessel of any kind, but I'm using a step can. And I even have, you know, drawers that are at exactly the right height so that I could line it up perfectly so that I have the use of the full face of the head. But I imagine most people won't have that, but a lot of people will have a tall garbage can or some kind of step can. And you can, you know, even though you can't line it up perfectly and have both hands free, you can put it off to one side and you still have a huge area relative to a scoop. So you can, you know, that ought to make it easier to not spill. So, I'll show you how I'm going to do this. Pick it up, pour it over. Now, with both hands free, grab your bag that isn't your, you know, garbage can just sitting in your bathroom. Take your tennis racket. Boom. Waste gone. And now, lift out the liner of the step can. Well, apparently I had some garbage in there, but, and I don't know whether in the shot whether you can see the the things that I didn't scoop out of there, but were in the bottom of the garbage can. But they're not poop. I got that. So that was pretty easy. And what I like about this is that I think I'm a lot more likely to, you know, just pick up the box and pour it than I am to, you know, get down in there and dig through it and make sure it's clean. And I think that in the long run this will actually work better. Now, I kind of got ahead of myself pouring it back in here, but what's nice about this is that one of the other, whether you have, if you don't have a cat, maybe you don't know this, but if you, one of the other things that's annoying about cat boxes is that cats like to pee in the corners, and so the clumps stick to the box. And breaking those off will cause the shards that you know, cause the narrow scoops in a narrow slots in a scoop. But before pouring the mess back into here, it leaves the clumps that are stuck to the side behind. So you could break them up and then pour those off with the scoop, and you didn't risk those broken pieces of the clumps being with the litter that poured off cleanly. Tell you what, I'll do it again to show you that it works. That's great. Watch. Alright, so we have the litter, you know, yeah, so you've got the, you know, you've got some clumps that are stuck there. We're going to throw the scoop. And so now, you know, just pry them off and they'll break, but you don't have to worry about them getting in the litter because the litter was separated before this splintering process. Now I've already closed the bag, so I'll just pour it in the other litter. Well, yeah. Well, now I've ruined that box. If I hadn't been doing this in front of a camera, I would have done it right in the first place, but whatever. So, just go ahead and throw that in there, why don't we? So if I'd done that, if I hadn't been doing this in front of a camera, I wouldn't have rushed the initial pouring this back in, and I would have then just had the box with the clumps that were stuck to the side, and I could have broken those off and put them in the bag before closing it, and there wouldn't have been any risk of the process of breaking it off with the scoop, putting the shards of the clump in with the litter to be sifted to be put back in. And the other thing that's nice about this is, apart from the breaking clumps off the side of one box, you could pour, if you have lots of litter boxes, if you have multiple cats, if you pour everything into one box, you can then just lift one box once every time you need to sift all the boxes. I mean, you're still lifting all the boxes to pour them into one container, but the process that might cause mess is just the pouring it over over the tennis racket, and not, you know, I mean, you're much less likely to, you know, to miss pouring litter from one box into another litter box than you are to miss whatever amount of the tennis racket I'm able to align over another trash receptacle. And despite my script, I managed to make this a uncomfortably long video. I really thought I could pull this off in like 2 minutes. Maybe I should just make one without narration. Yeah, I'll do that.